Alright, welcome back. In the last video we set up this login test flow, and we can do we can start up the server, and once that is running, let us see how it works. So if you do some invalid login, it says login failed. If you do correct login, you get redirected to here, the words page, and you can go on and play with the app. But actually, two things are wrong. First of all, the application doesn't remember that you are logged in. And secondly, you can just access everything even if you're not logged in. So let's try to tackle the first part now. To do that, we are going to add a cookie to the user's browser whenever they successfully log in. One way you can look at the cookies is to normally start, if you open up the developer tools, normally it starts up in the console. But if you go here to this one and you select storage, you can see the cookies, and there's no cookies for this website just now. So let's try to add that. And you can do it quite simply. I think there is a cookie function here that you can add to the response. And what does it take? It takes a cookie. And you can see here is an example. Let's even try to go to the definition so we can see the full example. And let's copy that and paste it here. So basically this is how we need to build it, to set it up. So we need a cookie from somewhere. I don't think we have this imported. So let's go back to this definition, and here are the imports. So let us go up here and add it. So it's simply cookie, and now we should have it. All right. So we built a cookie that has a certain name and a certain value. The name we can we need to get that from some settings somewhere. So maybe we make a new module that that exposes a settings structure, and in here we can put things that we need to use everywhere, so we don't have to copy strings around. We can just have it in here, and we can kind of make it in a stupid way now, and then later we can optimize it. So we need an auth cookie name, which is a string, and that's all we need for now. So let's have a function here that's called getSettings, which returns a settings object, and we can just do this now. Maybe we give it you could give it a better name. So you can see here, this is the very stupid way. You just create a new object every time. Really, we'd want like a static object out here, like something like this. But I don't know if we can actually do that. And then here we would also need to just return a reference. So something like this. It seems to work, so let's try that. Okay, so now let's get the settings. Maybe we do that in here. So we get the settings, and then we have to say settings auth cookie name. You clone that, and you put some value in here. We want an encrypted cookie. But for now, let's try this to see how it works. also inside the encrypted string here, encrypted cookie, there'll be an expiration date, but we might also want to do something like this, simply to tell the browser that it should probably remove it at this time. The thing is that anything on the browser the user can change, so we cannot rely on this to be true value. And also I don't really have a package to deal with time, so we're not going to do that right now. We can say, okay, it should be secure. I'm not sure what that means. We can also say HTTP only. It seems wrong to set that to true. So oops. I think, let's say, to do read up on this. And once you've built the cookie, you say finish. Then we have to stop the cookie, and I think we already had that. We stop the cookie here, and then we finish the response. So let me try to format it. Missing a lifetime specifier, so this can just be static. And okay, we do have this lazy static, so I think I will use this, something like this. It says settings, and this thing is here, and we need to import it. And this one has to be just caps. And what has gone? Oh, this is something you need to return, it seems like. So we need to actually do it like this. Looks super weird, but all right. Let's go with that. So now, once you successfully log in, we add a cookie to the response, which basically tells the browser store this cookie. And let's see how it works. So let's check that it has compiled. It hasn't compiled yet, but it's almost there. Okay, still cookies, no cookies. We go in here, we type some random stuff, still no cookies. If we correctly log in, now we see there's a cookie. And it has the name auth, and it has the name, the value was the name. So it's just auth and the value is logged in. So of course that's not very, very trustworthy, because I'm pretty sure I can go in here and, well, anyway, if I knew how, I could change it here, but also I can just set up a request using a Python code or something that has a cookie with this name and whatever values I want. So this, if we are to believe in this value here, we need to encrypt it, because otherwise the user will just do whatever. So we're going to use this example here, and actually we don't have code for it yet. So let's make a module called secure token, and there will be a function that is get secure token, and it returns a string. And it's going to do some of the stuff in here. So we basically need this part, which sets up some claims, some data we want in there, and it uses a secret that we should get from the settings. So let's also say settings, get settings, and I think let's go into here and make it a part of the crate. So this stuff we need to change. This stuff we need to change. And the secret from the settings should be like cookie, well, yeah, cookie secret. So now we need to go back in and add that to the settings struct, and we are gonna use this value over there. Cookie secret is this thing to string. And this thing, I think it needs do we do this? Over here it's just a string reference. Not sure why it's failing. So we clearly have this thing that seems to work, right? No problem, this works. Okay, well, still it doesn't work. So let me try this. It's a string. Do we have to say secret as str? So for some reason that worked. So let's say cookie secret as str. And here we get out a cookie. Expiration date is very bad to do. Set this as I don't know, a week from now, something like that. And here we should also probably handle errors. But anyway, now we can actually make a cookie. We do need some more stuff. This thing, for example, should be settings dot implicit claim. Implicit assertion. So if we quickly go back to settings, we need an implicit assertion, which we can say is a string, and it's gonna be just ABC for now. Then go back here, you can see it doesn't work because it needs to be bytes. So now we have that. And let's take a look at that and let's add it here. So what do we need? Well, we need one more thing actually. This data is useless, so let's say a user name. It's probably something we need to take in here. So username is string. So username. And maybe we want the user ID. So that's also something you could return from this validate login. You could return a user ID. But for now, I think it's okay just to have a username. Here's a user ID. Let's not add that. Let's not add that right now. And there we have it. We have the secret key, the secret key, the claims, the data inside the cookie. This one, I forget what it is, but it's the footer. We don't really need a footer. And then there's this implicit insertion, which I don't know what that is. So let's now use this function. So secure token, we generate token. It's probably actually a better name. So generate token, and we need the username. So it's going to be data username. And there we go. So let's have a look at this. So let's first of all delete this cookie. And now let's go home, let's log in. And let's log in correctly. Now you can see we get a cookie that has some encrypted string. And presumably this is impossible to break, so everything is fine now. All right. But still there is an issue. I can just go in and delete my cookie and I can still access the app. So to deal with that, we need to basically check every request that's incoming, that's asking for data, and check whether it has access to that data. And to do that, you use something called middleware that sits between every incoming request and your endpoints here. Basically, middleware is how do you say? It's a function that is called before anything else on every request. But it's a little bit complicated to set up with this Actix web. So I found this example here, which I will put in the description, I think. This is a repository of examples of Actix, and here is something that is very similar to what we need. So let's start by just making a temporary example file. I put that stuff in there. So we need all this stuff, and eventually this function is what will be called in every request. So I think because it's basically so complicated, let's make a separate folder that's called middleware, and in here we will make this thing. So we need this stuff, and let's also include it in here. Let's make it a true part of the crate. So let's just go through it. So first of all, there's something about futures, which is basically async functions. I think that's all right. Then there's this, Then there is a futures util. We don't have this crate. This is an external crate, so let's add that. And it's called futures util. So I think you have to do like this. And now we got 3.30 with the standard features. So now we have that. And then you make a struct that is representing an action, checking the login. And then there is this thing. Let's try to understand what the hell is going on. So you implement transform. Transformers wrap an inner service and runs during inbound and or outbound processing in the service lifecycle. Okay, that's fine. Then there is some weird trait bounds here. You set the response type. I don't really know if this can be made simpler, but the transform operation itself is this check login middleware. It's certainly not simple, this middleware stuff. And then the type of the future is either the type of the transform or an error. And then when there's a way to instantiate it which uses this ready function. And let me close this one. And then it returns this type with the service. Okay, that's a mouthful. So then we make another type that has a bunch of stuff. Again, some generic type bounds, some associated types, and don't know what this does. So a lot of stuff here that is very strange. So it forwards readiness checks to a name struct field. So somehow the readiness checks, whatever that is done by the service field instead of this type itself, which makes sense. And basically, let's do something super simple. Let's say middleware was called, and then I basically want to just call the underlying service, and then we need to do this to return it with the proper type, and then I can comment all this stuff out. And now we should do nothing else than just printing this every time we make a request. However, we are not quite done yet because we need to put it in here. So let's see how they do that in the example. Probably in main. So you just say wrap, and then you say check login. Okay. So here everything should be wrapped, check login, and we need to include that. Maybe just include middleware like this. I don't know. There is some kind of error. Do have middleware. So now it's unresolved somehow. Did we save that one? Maybe I can just get the login directly. All right, I restarted my new image. Seems to have resolved the issue. So now what happens? You can see I already tried it a couple of times, but let's try to just restart the server. Can I do it like this? So now every time I make a request, you can see middleware was called. Go to words is called a couple of times because there's actually several requests happening here. This one should do it, this one, and adding a new word pair does it. Going back, going here. So you can see everything we do, it's called. So now we have this middleware running. Now we should actually do something interesting in here. Okay, so we need to check if we have a cookie. So let's actually do it a little bit slower. So let's say cookie is request cookie, and we need to get the settings. So let's say settings is not that, but so now it's complaining again, which is great. Just gonna ignore it. So we need the settings, and it is called get settings. And the cookie we need is the auth, and nothing seems to be working here. This is super annoying. No, not that one, sorry. This one. Auth cookie name. And does this take a, just takes a string reference. So this is an option. So let's just do something like this. Cookie was found, we do that. And if the cookie was not found, we do this. And do we have the cookie? We don't have the cookie right now. So when I press home, it should say cookie not found. If we do this, we log in. It should say now the cookie is found, finally. And we have the data there and so on. So let's check if we are logged in. To do that, we need to go into our secure token subpackage, and we need a new function that is called verify token, and it'll take the token string, and it will let me actually get rid of that. It will do some stuff. We already have an example of decrypting a token, which is this stuff. And maybe for now it should just return like it returns OK and the username if you are logged in, and it returns an error if you're not logged in. All right, so we need to get the settings first of all. Then we need to get the key. We have the untrusted token, we have the validation rules. And in here we need settings, implicit assertion, as bytes. And we unwrap that. Let's not unwrap it. Let's match the trusted token. And I think we have to go into token. What is this? Yeah, so we can get the claims. How do I kind of like I want to map into it? Just to provide it default result if none. Okay, so let's match the username with, well, these are actually the claims. So let's match the claims with some claims. And here we can say, it's a very strange. Okay, so Copilot wants us to do this, so let's try that. And I think we are good now. So now we can verify the tokens, and let's try to use that in the middleware. So let's say let username be create secure token, verify token. And we can unwrap it. Yeah, we need to get the value. And then let's match on the username. And if it's okay, we do this. So this is just to check that it's working. And it's not compiling. Right, this is supposed to be none. This is supposed to be some. There is no get additional, maybe it's just get claim. This is a string, so we need to make the untrusted token from a string. It's already a string, so let's do that. And now we need to go back into the middleware. I think so it did suggest that I write ref. I don't really know the ref keyword, but I will do it. Okay, so it ran. So let's see here, we have the cookie. So principle, it should say cookie found and username found, test one. It's printing it in a weird way. Great. And this is supposedly secure, because if I I don't know how to edit it in the Firefox. Okay, but actually our server is gonna crash right now if there is no token, because we unwrap it here. So what should we do if there is no token? We should actually redirect. And I think for now, let's say we're gonna take this stuff put it in here, and this is gonna be the username from the token. And we'll set the username equal to some user. Otherwise, username is none. And don't really get the formatting it's doing. Let's try to help it. And almost there. Something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong. This one matches that. What is going on? This one we don't need. Let's get rid of that. So probably this one we need to remove because we don't need to unwrap it. It's already unwrapped here. And now it's still kind of messed up. The formatting doesn't work at all, which is a bit worrying. Okay. Okay, there's no cookie, then the username is also none. And then we'll use this username kind of to indicate whether we're logged in. So this is a good start for now. And here, if we're logged in, I think we actually just forward the call. If it would format it correctly. So we forward the call. If the okay, and then let's take from the example. If we are not logged in and we are not trying to log in, that's okay. Then we're actually going to redirect the user to the login page. And I think with that we can call it. I don't need to save this because I have it in my example. Does it format now? I'm afraid it doesn't, but this one is still. Okay. If there's no. Wait. So okay. So we are not logged in. So we don't need this part. If the request is not equal to that, we redirect to that. Otherwise, we just let the request go through. Now it should compile. And we can see here, well, we are still logged in, so we can go wherever we want. We can add new word pairs, we can edit and so on. If we now delete the cookie, we obviously already loaded this, so nothing happens. But if I go to home, you can see it redirects me to the login. If I click on words now, nothing happens. I just keep coming to the login page. I cannot do anything here, so I have to log in. And once I'm logged in, I can again go around, do whatever I want, as long as I have a valid, securely encrypted cookie. Let us remove this stupid thing. And that's gonna do it for this video. Now we have a basic login flow. And then to really finish it off, we need a registration flow, a password reset flow, and probably also an account deletion flow. But that's going to be in another video. So until then, bye bye.